We've got a winner in Pennsylvania. Josh Shapiro, the attorney general, is the projected winner over Doug Mastriano.
Mastriano was Trump's choice and beat a very solid Republican primary opponent. You know, there was no reason why Mastriano should have been the nominee in a state like Pennsylvania. And he was just too extreme. He was the January 6th marcher, you know, with the rioters. He was leading the election count, all of those lawsuits. And the anti-Semitism in this race was just extraordinary. He linked up with the most toxic anti-Semitic website in the country, according to the ADL and other groups, and hired the guy, Joe Torba, to be a campaign consultant so that anybody who logged onto that website automatically was switched to Mastriano's campaign. And only when the local papers, and frankly, we did also on our network, called him out on this, did he fire the guy, but he was paying him $5,000, you know, a month for this. And then the anti-Semitism just spread throughout the state. And that really, and Shapiro is an observant Jewish person, and he criticized Shapiro for sending his children to religious school, religious day school. So this was really, this state is where the governor controls the Electoral College and all of that count, and it's a Republican legislature and abortion. Abortion was a big issue here in the collar counties of Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, because if Doug Mastriano became the governor, then the Democratic governor, who is term limited, has been vetoing all of these abortion bans coming out of the Republican legislature.
Hallie, you picked up on something, that some of these races we're talking about have really become nationalized, and part of the discussion.
Oh, yeah. Which I think is fascinating, too. And just to the point Andrew's making, it's really, I'm really glad that you brought up the anti-Semitic piece of this. There's also crime. Savannah, this is an issue that I know you have some interest in, and we talked about earlier. The governor-to-be, if the projection holds, really, from what Democrats talked about, was seen as doing a really good job talking about the crime issue, right, from a perspective on an issue where Democrats had been on defense. As for that Senate race, you know, I was talking with a voter, I'm going to say in Arizona, and you're going to say, well, wait a second, why are you talking about Arizona when we're talking about Pennsylvania? Because this was a Republican in Arizona, on the phone with them, and I said, you know, talked about who he was voting for. I said, why are you voting for the Republican ticket? And part of his reason was, well, look at who Democrats are putting up for Senate in Pennsylvania. It tells you how nationalized, I think, and how much attention there is on that Pennsylvania Senate race, which is going to be so important as we talk about the balance of power in that chamber.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.